Hello and welcome, it is me, Mario, and we are here in Italy. Never mind that, it is ME7 here. We are at stage 4, and we are in Italy today. Thank you for joining me as I try to earn my own Lamborghini Sian. And here I am racing against Ahmed as he drives his. Monza is a fabulous place, heading into a Parabolica corner here. You want to short brake a little bit, and then get yourself under Ahmed, get into the gas nice and early, and bye-bye. So in this particular stage, this stage, race 4.1, you have to hit a certain average speed every time you're crossing the line. Now, I don't remember if it said that we can't go off track, but I'm going to avoid going off track. Monza is an interesting track. You really need to make use of the rules of Real Racing 3. Don't necessarily follow regulation rules. Here's what I mean by that. Regulation rules, you don't want to be driving with any tires in the grass. Real Racing 3, I'd encourage you to get used to it. In Real Racing 3, you can have 2 tires substantially off track without being considered quote-unquote off track, meaning you won't get a penalty. In time trials, you can actually have only 1 tire on track. However, in endurance events, you have to have 2 tires on track. It's kind of interesting how it works. So you really need to know how to optimize Monza, and I'll get into that a little bit more as far as some of my braking points. There's an awful lot of Sians here, so it's kind of surprising, isn't it? Thankfully at Monza, there's lots of distance markers at most corners, so it's not difficult to find a reference point. Obviously, I'm not used to my braking point heading into the chicane yet, but nevertheless, the braking points are harder to see. Like on your left-hand side, there's actually 2 signs that appear. One's right there, another one's coming up. And then we get to the actual green side area there that you could drive onto the green area to widen out the corner a little bit. But here you can see this isn't a problem for me to maintain average speed. 1 more lap to go, and 3rd place is right in front of me. And so right on your left here, after we cross the huge thing, I think that's, I don't know what that is. The first distance marker is just after that huge structure that's a couple of stories tall. I'm braking probably 1 to 2 car lengths after that distance marker. Still kind of sorting that out, but that seems good enough so far. Then on your right, there's going to be 2 distance markers. I'm braking about halfway through the 1st and 2nd, about halfway. Maybe I should do 2/3 because this feels early. But again, short brake, and then you can zip under this guy nicely. Look, I didn't even touch him. 1 distance marker, there's a 2nd distance marker. So I'm kind of going with the 2nd one there. And then here, there really isn't a distance marker. I guess there are. I just noticed that. I guess I'm going with about the 2nd one. Catch some draft. Right before the bridge, there's a distance marker. I'm kind of using that one, but maybe I'm waiting till I'm about at the bridge. I'm gonna see, I don't want to pass this guy because he's 2nd place. I only have to finish 3rd. Now, let's backtrack if you didn't see the other videos. Actually, if you didn't see the other videos in this series, go watch them. They're incredible. Anyhow, I'll tell you anyways. This is a recommended PR event, which means you only have to buy upgrades if you want to or if you need to. The way we try to keep the bots slow, so you want to keep the bots slow. The way you do that is only do as much as you have to. So it said I have to finish at least 3rd. I only finish 3rd. And I'd rather finish further back. So I'm going to start slowing down because I meet the average speed requirement. I wanted to be closer to 4th place, but not that bad. So I'm not going to restart it. So there we go, and then we're going to zip right through to the next race. Not a bunch of in-between screens. Okay, so here we are, race 4.2. And this one is not that difficult of a race, really. Just to have to hold formation with a whole gaggle of Lamborghinis on your rear end. I was going to try to drive looking backwards for a while. Gosh, that's hard. So watch this first braking point. Get on the brakes really early because Ahmed is substantially over braking. This is an outlap. Bots drive stupid in an outlap. See Ahmed, he's driving in the middle of the track, so he's substantially over braking. He's not going to drive that stupid in the next laps, but he's driving really stupid in this one. So you have to over brake. You got to brake quite early. And notice how my tailgating is counting even though I'm not drafting. So we don't have to be so close to draft. There was a certain distance we have to stay within. There's tons of time. There's 2 full laps after this yet. So I don't consider this to be a difficult event at all. And we do have an off-track counter of 1.5 seconds. So now you'll get a good chance of seeing where actual off track is. See right there. None of that was off track. According to the rules of Real Racing 3, maybe even according to regulation rules, I haven't looked at that. Some people go on and on about, oh, you can never have one tire over a white line. But then you watch the very last corner at Spa and see a lot of guys getting all 4 tires over the white line. So sometimes people who are real stickler for rules don't necessarily understand where they apply and where they don't. Anyhow, that doesn't really matter because we're talking Real Racing 3. Only the rules of Real Racing 3 matter, because that's what we have to obey to pass this stage. Okay, so far I haven't been off track once. I'll try to keep that up here. Might happen accidentally once in a while. I'm still trying to get in all my following behind Ahmed. So even here, watch what happens at the exit of the chicane. You got to be prepared for this. Bots always brake a little bit at the exit of the chicane. It's so stupid. I don't know why they do that. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't be so critical. You don't want to do that. Oh, and then the race just ends. So that's actually not good for me. It would have been better if I dragged that out till near the end of 2 laps. Oh well, that's what I did. Moving on. Okay, race 4.3. This one's challenging. This one is challenging. There's nothing you can do about your starting speed. You could crash into the other cars, but then you're going to damage yourself. So I'm drafting and shoving Ahmed into a line he doesn't want to be in right now, because I want to zip by him at the very first chicane here. Boy, he's kind of in my way. He really messes up. Like, I lost at minimum half a second there. Might have even lost a whole second in that chicane because of Ahmed. You're going to find out that I need all the time I can get. Now, I do have 1.5 seconds of off track that I could have used. Don't be afraid to use it if you need to, okay? Don't worry about it. If you need to use that off track to finish this stage with the upgrades that you're doing, just do it. Don't worry about what anyone else says. It's fine. I mean, they're giving you 1.5 seconds of off track. Oops. That wasn't a good place for me to use it. That actually cost me a bit because I lose speed when I'm off track. They're giving you that, so just use it if you need to use it. I would encourage you at the first chicane or the second chicane, meaning the tight left-right. This is another chicane, but don't use it here. It's just going to hurt your time. The very first chicane or the second one would be a good place to take a little cut if you need to shave some time. And you're going to see the way I did this is razor close on time. Again, I was wrestling too much with Ahmed in the first chicane. I did not optimize Parabolica. Yikes. That's the actual name of that corner, Parabolica. It's a parabolic shape, but it's called Parabolica. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here you're going to see razor close. But this is not the hardest event of Stage 4. That is coming up, and you will see it here. Stay tuned. And stay tuned. All right. Stage 4.4, Speed Snap. This is often where we end up having to spend some money, and I'm going to do something I usually don't do. I'm going to show you a couple of failed attempts, because this will also show you how I determine my starting point. So you could zip off here at full speed. That's not what I want to do. I want to find a point on the track I can go full throttle from without braking. So the only way to figure that out is with a little bit of trial and error. So I'm looking at the side of the track here. I'm looking at the shadows. Now, I've already tried this a couple of times and failed using starting points that were further up. So now I'm going to back up quite a bit. Okay, so after this side road, I need to figure out how many shadows I pass. I'm going to pass this first shadow, and then I'm going to use the second shadow. So I'm lining it up with my screen. Okay, so there is a bit of shadow showing when I did this. Now, as far left as possible, and start my right-hand turn. I didn't start that right-hand turn soon enough. Okay, so now I'm going to go a little bit further ahead though, just a pinch. Okay, a little less, now no shadow showing, and only back up a certain amount, far to the left, cut to the right, still didn't start cutting soon enough. Okay, one more time. This is going to be it right here. So I'm just going to go just a skosh further, maybe half a car length further ahead, and start my turn a tiny bit earlier than I did last time. There we go. I just got up on the curb. That's what I wanted. There. See the difference? Ooh, I passed. Now, look at this. Look how much I passed with. I tied everybody. That's hilarious. I couldn't do that again if I tried. I tied everybody. Well, that's fabulous. No winners and no losers here, blah, blah, blah. I'm the winner, haha. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today for this tour through Italy. And subscribe, like, see you again.